Troy grabbed the blocks our daughter was playing with and threw them hard into the trash can.
All this stuff is just junk. I'm throwing them out right now.
Hey, that's kind of mean. What are you doing?
We don't need toys.
My husband kept imposing his irrational beliefs and acting selfishly. I had reached my limit with him. As our daughter cried, I made a firm vow in my heart. This is unforgivable. How can he do this to his own family? I'll get back at him. Thus, the countdown to our family's collapse began. My name is Molly, 30 years old. I live with my husband Troy, who's the same age, and our daughter Lisa. I work as a freelance web designer. I usually work from home, so I have a peaceful life while Lisa is at kindergarten. Lisa just turned 3 recently. She's started talking a lot, and is really into typical girls' games like playing house and dolls. It feels like she was just born, but she's growing up so fast. Every day is a whirlwind. Watching her learn everything is incredibly rewarding as a mother. One day, while preparing dinner, my husband came home from work and handed me a book.
Molly, check this out.
Uh-huh, what's this? The Essence of Minimalism?
Minimalism's all the rage these days. You've heard of it, right?
Well, I've heard of it, yeah, but I don't know much about it.
That's why you should read it. It'll really change your world.
He looked so refreshed, and there was a sparkle in his eyes. While Troy and Lisa were in the bath, I decided to skim through the book. It explained what it means to be a minimalist. Let's see what it says. A minimalist is someone who lives with the bare essentials, or that kind of lifestyle. It's becoming popular worldwide. I'd heard the term minimalist before, but didn't know what it really meant. Reading the book he gave me was enlightening. The points made sense. It's better to not buy anything beyond what's really necessary. Practicing minimalism could save some money, but the idea that it could change the world seemed a bit much. I skimmed the book and went back to my chores. I thought it was just another way of thinking as I dressed Lisa after her bath, but I had no idea at the time. I didn't realize this book would lead to a tragedy in our family. A week later on a Saturday, Troy was off work. While having breakfast, I asked Lisa what she wanted to do today. She excitedly said, "I want to go out with Mommy and Daddy." Go out? How about the shopping mall? Really? I want to see clothes and, dolls too. Sure, let's go. We haven't been out much lately. I'm so happy we can go out. You're happy too, right, Daddy? She said this with a big smile, looking at Troy. Then he reacted abruptly and quickly said,
Sorry, Lisa. Daddy has things to do today.
Why? I wanted to go out with both you and Mommy.
I'm sorry. I'm busy today. So you two go without me.
Busy with work? Even on a Saturday?
Yeah, that's right. Daddy's really busy with work.
Okay then. I'll go with Mommy. She seemed to accept it easily, but I was puzzled. Busy? Work? That couldn't be right. He hadn't mentioned work at all. While she was brushing her teeth after breakfast, I quietly asked him, "Hey, what's going on? You don't really have work today, do you?" He smirked and proudly said,
This is my work. Today, as a minimalist, I'm cleaning the house.
What? Minimalist?
Yeah, remember the book I gave you? After reading it, I just couldn't wait to organize the house. I've been restless about it all week.
Wait, So you mean you turned down Lisa's invitation just to tidy up?
Of course. I can't go out. I need to clean up this house as soon as possible.
I don't think our house is that messy. Our home wasn't exactly lacking in items, but it wasn't cluttered with unnecessary things either. I think it's quite organized. I hate clutter, so I always do at least a minimal clean every day. Yet he seemed dissatisfied. Ignoring me, he said in an irritated tone,
You just don't get it. Just because it's organized doesn't mean it's clean.
What do you mean?
Get rid of everything but the essentials. Make the house more spacious. That's what true cleanliness is.
But it's not like we have unnecessary stuff.
Well, you might not understand yet. Anyway, I'll take care of the house today. You go out with Lisa.
Okay.
Stay out as long as you can.
Got it. So Lisa and I ended up going to the mall. I didn't understand why he was so passionate, but if he wanted to clean, that was fine by me. I was pretty casual about it. Later, Lisa and I enjoyed our time at the mall. We even bought a cake to thank Troy for tidying up. When we got home, the scene before us made the cake box slip from my hands. We're back! What? What is this? The house looked entirely different from when we left. The TV, decorations, Lisa's child-sized chair, all gone. And that wasn't all. Even the kitchen toaster and the dishes in the cabinet had mostly disappeared. I was speechless at the unbelievable sight. I couldn't understand why everything was like this. Troy, unconcerned by my shock, greeted us with a beaming smile. Lisa, speaking for me, said,
Daddy, the TV's gone. What about my bunny chair?
Lisa, we don't need a TV anymore. That chair isn't necessary either, right?
Why? I like that bunny chair. I sit on it to watch TV.
You don't need to watch TV. Study with your mom instead.
No! That's mean, Daddy. Why are you hiding my favorite things?
You might not understand yet. You'll get it eventually.
She was so upset about her favorite chair being thrown out that she started crying loudly. I snapped back to reality and confronted my husband. What's going on here?
I told you, I threw out the TV. We can live without it, right?
But why throw it away? My parents bought us that TV as a wedding gift.
TVs aren't good for Lisa's education. They take up space. As a minimalist, I decided we don't need it.
What? I froze, and he continued proudly.
Yeah, I threw out the toaster and oven too. We can manage with boiling, frying, and steaming.
What are you talking about?
Also, I threw out your computer and tablet from the living room. They were taking up too much space.
I use them for my work. How am I supposed to work without my computer and tablet? Lisa's expenses are only going to increase.
If we practice minimalism, we'll naturally save money.
That's ridiculous.
I also threw out some of Lisa's stuffed animals and a few of your shoes from the bedroom.
Lisa began to cry even more. He even threw out her favorite sandals. I was beyond anger at his incomprehensible actions. I could only watch her cry. That night, I went to bed with Lisa, who was still sobbing. The next morning, while making breakfast, I waited for my husband to wake up. I won't forgive him for throwing things away without permission. How dare he dispose of our belongings? without asking. Yesterday was hard for Lisa, so I have to talk to him today. She seemed a bit better, playing with her favorite blocks while I cooked. Then, looking groggy, my husband entered the living room. I approached him and said, "Listen." His demeanor changed instantly.
Hey, where did you hide those?
He pointed at Lisa's blocks, turning red with anger. She trembled, already on the verge of tears. Troy snatched her blocks and shoved them into the trash.
All this stuff is just junk. I'm throwing it out right now.
Hey, that's kind of mean. What are you doing?
We don't need toys. Haven't you read it yet?
He thrust the essence of minimalism in front of me. He lectured.
See? It says here. Get rid of unnecessary things immediately.
So what? Are you saying Lisa's toys are unnecessary?
Obviously. You always buy unnecessary stuff. Toys just take up space. You two don't understand anything.
Wait a minute. That's too much. It's one thing to throw out your own stuff, but don't throw away mine and Lisa's without asking.
What? I'm doing this for the sake of our home.
She started crying again as he yelled in anger. My heart felt like it was being crushed by her crying. I had never seen him like this before. I was frozen in place at the bizarre scene. He looked at me with a smug smile.
Listen, you two don't understand what minimalism is. That's why I'm showing you by example.
We never asked for this.
Shut up. I'm the head of this house. You two just need to listen and follow.
At that moment, something inside me snapped. Just listen and follow? Don't be ridiculous. What do you think Lisa and I are? We have our own will. We're not just convenient housemates. I had reached my limit with my husband's nonsensical arguments. But I couldn't raise my voice in front of our daughter. Holding back the anger welling up inside me, I told him calmly, "I'm sorry, but I can't live with you anymore."
What are you talking about?
I'm going to my parents' house with Lisa for now. We'll talk more about this later.
Hey.
Ignoring his attempt to stop me, I packed our bags, picked up Lisa, and drove to my parents' house. After explaining everything, my parents were furious, as expected. Even if we were to divorce, him throwing away so much was too one-sided. It was too unfair to end things this way. So I consulted a lawyer to see what could be done. As a result, I found one way to get back at my husband. The following week, after leaving Lisa with my parents, I went back to the house where my husband was waiting. With the lawyer's help, I had prepared my revenge to the fullest extent possible. It was Sunday, so when I rang the doorbell, Troy came out immediately. He looked grumpy and snapped at me.
You left the house for a whole week. Do you even have any sense of responsibility as a wife?
That's not important right now. I have something serious to discuss.
Serious talk? Just so you know, I have no intention of changing my lifestyle.
Good. I'm glad to hear you say that.
What do you mean?
I cut him off and handed him a memo. When he saw it, his eyes widened and he glared at me. This list contains all the items you threw away on your own.
So what?
You need to pay for them.
Huh?
After consulting with a lawyer, I learned your actions constitute property damage. He stared at the memo in shock.
This can't be.
I relentlessly continued. The list includes things I bought myself or were given to me. It doesn't include anything we bought together.
A computer? TV? Tablet? You're saying I have to compensate for all these?
Of course. Oh, and also Lisa's toys. I bought all of them. Plus, the toaster and oven were gifts from relatives for our wedding.
You've got to be kidding. I did all this as a minimalist for your sake.
I slammed the table as he started to preach his beliefs again. The sound made him stop mid-sentence. I raised my voice at him. Kidding? That's what I should be asking you. Do you have any idea how much trouble you've caused us? What you did was a terrible act, completely disregarding our feelings. Throwing away someone's belongings without permission, are you out of your mind? I refuse to be a family with someone like that.
Wait, are you saying you want a divorce?
Yes, that's right. I'm divorcing you. I came here today to tell you that. I don't want to be with someone who can do such things, and I don't want you as Lisa's father. I'll make sure you pay for everything you threw away.
This can't be happening. Divorce is too much. This was all for you.
You did this to yourself. If you can't understand that, then rot in hell alone, you jerk. I slammed the list of items to be compensated on the table and stormed out of the house. On the way back to my parents' house, I deleted his contact information and completely cut off our relationship. Later, I initiated divorce proceedings through my lawyer. He was reluctant to agree, and even showed up at my parents' house, causing a scene, insisting he wasn't in the wrong. Enraged by his behavior, my father called the police. Troy was taken away by the police, and the incident reached my in-laws. As a result, they found out about all his misdeeds and apparently disowned him. He had no choice but to agree to the divorce. When you refuse the divorce, it'll go to mediation, I threatened, and he reluctantly consented. Now I'm back to being single and receive a fixed amount monthly for compensation. Plus, there's child support, so he'll have a tough time for a while. That's the price for his extreme minimalism. Let him suffer. As for me, I'm happily living with my daughter at my parents' house, receiving their support. I had planned to start a new life with just Lisa and me, but my parents are happy to live with their granddaughter, so I've decided to stay with them for a while. Lisa, I'm sorry. We can't live with your father anymore. She shook her head vigorously in response to my apology. Holding my hand and looking into my eyes, she said,
Mom, I'm okay as long as I have you. I hate a dad who does mean things.
Thank you.
Plus, we have Grandpa and Grandma, so I'm not lonely at all.
Saying that, she hugged me tightly. I hugged her back and vowed to protect her for the rest of my life.